Welcome back, Advice Pod on a Friday. My name's Kyle. This is Raysean and Noah.
Hi.
And we are going to do an r/adulting today. It's one of those things that we all hate to do, but this one's not really about adulting, so hear me out. It says, didn't party enough when I was younger, and it haunts me now. I, 28-year-old male, just woke up from a sad dream that almost gave me an existential panic of how vivid it was. It was a dream of me super drunk at some frat party, drunk with my girlfriend. It felt so real. I think I was peering into another timeline. I fucking hate those dreams. They fuck with me all the time too, dude. I get it. I woke up with this familiar feeling of dread. The feeling that I'm 28 and I wasn't reckless enough in my youth. I didn't party enough. I was never wild, rebellious, or carefree. It makes me feel this raw existential pain about a lost youth. I could never let myself relax as a kid, teen, or young adult. My dad passed away when I was really young, and my mom worked so hard for me. I felt serious from a young age, and I just couldn't do stupid shit. I commuted to college to save a little money at the cost of missing out on the experience. But even if I had gone, I wouldn't have let myself be free, most likely. Last year, I got a great job, and that's the first time in my life I felt a massive weight off of my shoulders and feel like I did what I needed to do. But it's too late to cut loose now. That ship has sailed. Oh, my friend, you have no idea. I guess I'll try to keep a good perspective. I'm at a decent place by at 28, career and finance-wise, and I've at least experienced a few parties with some friends. 2 years ago, this fucking sentence makes me so sad. 2 years ago, I went to a Halloween party my friends were hosting with my girlfriend at the time. I remember getting pretty drunk that night and having a good time. It's not the same thing as a wild and reckless youth, but at least it's better than nothing. Anyone else feel like this or can relate? It makes me feel pretty sad about life these days. I don't really even feel like getting out of bed as I type this. So
this is interesting.
It's a really interesting one, right? But I'm more interested to hear what you guys have to say about this because you guys are still in your 20s and I'm somebody who spent all of his 20s doing reckless, stupid shit for way too long.
I think you got to look at this from two different perspectives. You need to look at this from the perspectives of those people who kind of get their youth kind of taken away from them because of family obligations. So they kind of have to take care of their siblings or they got to go to work or something like that. So they do miss out on that time to kind of have that wild college life or just partying or doing wild stuff. But then like I say, I went to college and I went to frat parties and went to parties a lot and drunk and had those days type shit. And from my perspective, I would say it's overrated. I'll be like, it's not something that I would be like, dang, I need to go back and redo, but I did it. So it's kind of hard for me to kind of be like, damn, from the person who didn't do it. Now it's like, dang, they feel like they're missing out. All I can say is at the point in age that you are right now is to try to have as much fun as you can now. It seemed like you got to the point, a lot of us who did go party wish we are at now type that, because you got the job, you financially responsible, you know what you need. So now this is actually the time where you can actually go do some more of the stuff that you will want to do, like go out on vacation or go hang out with your friends and go do stuff like that. So don't limit your mindset to thinking that you needed to go have fun in those frat parties and stuff like that. Cause I mean, it really is overrated. It's not.
Now that you're 28 and financially stable, you don't have to go drink fucking like grain and fruit punch, like mixed in a goddamn, garbage pail, with like 300 kids at a frat party. You can plan for like you and 4 or 5 of your closest friends to go take a trip to a city together and just hang out and get drunk for a weekend and go see some sights or get some food or something. Like those have been some of my favorite drinking trips. I call them drinking trips because we drank a lot on them, but trips with my buddies, Brian, to go see different places in the United States are like some of my favorite trips because, we're a little bit older, a little bit more financially secure. Nobody's worried about like, getting arrested or anything. Usually, actually, Pete, we're not going to talk about Pete. My point is, when you're a little bit older like that, you got that financial independence or financial security. Like you can plan to go do some nice things and make your own memories. I feel like this kid just feels like he doesn't have any memories because he's worked hard his entire life. and he's like
Mhm.
not really sure how to get started on the memory making train. So I don't know. Noah, you're in college, dude. What do you think? You go to frat parties and shit? Probably not. What do you do?
So I actually have been to a couple parties, but not frat parties. So I haven't like done like a keg stand, but like, so like
22 and no keg stands. I did my first keg stands when I was 14 at Ozfest.
because I'm bipolar, so I don't.
Me too. Why do you think I'm like this? Just kidding. I don't actually think that I'm bipolar, but
Okay.
we got to get you a keg stand in there, man.
I don't know. Like my whole thing is that I haven't gotten drunk yet, but I never really feel good because I'm usually like on my medication and I like get crossfaded if I try drinking too much. So
Bro, SSRIs and booze are some of the best times you can have.
I am
Fuck with your psychiatrist
I am
says.
talking. I am speaking.
I'm joking. I'm sorry.
So-
Go ahead.
So listen. Honestly, like the only good part is when like you meet people, but when you meet those people, you don't usually like keep talking to them afterwards, even if you get their numbers or Instagram.
Yeah.
It's like you don't really hear from them very often. If you do, cool, but you don't. Like when I went to some of those parties, the only thing I really get from that is like a feeling. For example, like I would have a nice moment where I get to sit in the grass with my friend and we get to talk and catch up after a long time. But that kind of thing can be done anywhere else. When it comes to like the whole recklessness aspect of it, it's not that you're missing out. It's that the feeling of wanting that, the feeling, it's the desire that will make your life better is
I don't
what's
know.
hurting you.
It's not going to impact his immediate life and make it any better, but the kid feels like he doesn't have a memory bank of good times is really what it is. And I think
Yeah.
you just hit on something pretty important in there. And I can totally 100% back it up through my own experiences. The fleeting moments of connection at parties when you make best friends with the rando you met 25 minutes ago and you guys are fucking sitting out there taking shots, pounding cigarettes, getting drunk, having a good time, bonding on some mutual random topic you just so happen to stumble into together, and you're best fucking friends for those 10 minutes. That is a really like understandable, I think very relatable feeling. Like you have those party people that you've made friends with one time and you were like, yeah, man, you boo Ronnie. Fucking love you, Ronnie. I'm gonna hang out with you next week, Ronnie. And you never talk to Ronnie again, man. It sucks. Ronnie rules. You rule too. It's just that, you don't know, you had that little connection in the moment you were drunk or whatever. And, you know, you go back to real life after the fact. This kid feels like he doesn't have enough of those types of experiences to feel like he has some sort of fulfilled life, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, he's not. That's the thing. Like, it's his problem isn't that he hasn't had those experiences, and that he keeps like conflating fulfillment with those experiences, which only creates more suffering. It's like he's looking at something that he thinks would change his life for the better. That like, oh, like,
and he's assigning it value that it would never possibly give him.
Yeah,
fucking losing fucking mission, man. You're never gonna get out of it. It's a suicide mission. Oh, can't say suicide on YouTube. It's an unaliving mission.
Because like because I can tell you right now, I have had those experiences that he's claiming that he wishes that he's had, and I'm straight up like, I've been drunk one time before, and like those experiences that he's talked about. Yeah,
it's
I know.
So wild to me that just the one time.
I know.
I don't think I knew that about you, to be honest.
Look, listen. I'm not saying that I've had like a reckless like 20s life that like you've had either, Kyle. No,
bro. But when I started getting on stage at age 13. By 17, I was getting into some shit, man. Yeah.
Okay.
Bad times.
But those times we don't really look back on that as like I'm like, oh yeah, that's what's made me like or that's what makes me happy now. It's like, no, we're happier with what we do now. Well, fuck, I lost my train of thought.
Hey, story of my life. I'm not even sure what the fuck we're talking about anymore. You guys want to go get drunk?
No, but yeah, no, exactly. Like it doesn't.
Lame.
Because I still feel like that guy. That's what I was gonna say. Like I've had those experiences that he wishes that he had.
Bro, you are literally this guy 6 years in the past. He's 28 and now you're 22. Bro, go out and live this guy's life. Fucking tweet him back on Reddit and be like, hey man, I'm gonna get a fucking GoPro. If you send me a couple $100, I will go to a frat party tonight. I will live stream the whole thing for your ass. I will tape a fucking red Solo cup to the front of the goddamn lens and you will be drinking with us. Drinking with us. You could make some money off this, Noah. I mean, I know that I just asked you randomly to be a guest on the show, but This could be a true calling, man. You could make some bucks.
I could. I think about that a lot. How I could
It's financially secure.
I could make a living on YouTube. I still think about that. Yeah.
Oh, what are we doing? We're not making a living. We're just trying to attract some audience members. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and like the video and all that stuff. Are there any final parting words before we tell this guy to get the fuck over himself, and getting drunk in a field face down isn't really that big of a deal that you feel like you missed out on that? I'm sorry, but alcohol poisoning every weekend for like 6 years is not a good time. Like, don't feel bad. You're doing well in life.
Yeah, I would say like everybody, no matter what their experiences or their walks of life that they're from, gets sad. Everybody gets sad. And it's like he can definitely still get happiness from this and fulfillment.
I'll tell you what, man. I'll be 35 in June. I'm old as fuck. I got alcohol poisoning this past Saturday. I had one of those nights out. Dude, I had a great night. I went to go see one of my favorite metal bands of all time play their entire first album, front to back, every single song. And I got to go with some fucking family members and some old friends I haven't seen in a minute. I was doing Jim Beam shots like a motherfucker. I don't know why. I never drink Jim Beam, but I have to be like safe with the kind of liquors that I can drink these days because of my allergic reaction that put me in the hospital last year. But I know Jim Beam's a safe one. So Jim Beam, dude, 11:30 rolls around, dude. They're getting the fucking second encore or whatever. I gotta go throw it up. I fucking tripped up the stairs. My point is, blacking out as an adult or as a child still has those same shame side effects. And I'm telling you, man, you dodged a bullet by not having to experience those. I can safely say that as somebody who experienced them fairly recently. You're fine. You're not missing out. You got a job and you're financially secure. So fuck you, pal.
Yeah.
If you weren't sad about this, dog, you would have figured something else to be sad about. Hey, I can relate to that as well. Any parting words for this man, Raysean?
Or I was just gonna say, or you could be an extrovert. I don't know if you were paying attention to my brother's story over the weekend. He randomly went over to the Miami University and hung out with a frat and was there for like 2 days. So I mean, sometimes
that's right. Miami University is in Ohio, correct?
Mm-hmm.
He just went there for the weekend and just made friends randomly.
With a random friend, and they had him just stay with them for like the last like 2 days. I was like, damn.
Dude, your brother David is a fucking legend, man. Maybe we should hook up David with this kid for like a weekend and have David go show him like some cool shit to do, how to make friends and get drunk.
Yeah, he's like, when I tell people, when you're making like a social group, or like if you're going out with somebody, if you're an introvert, you need to go out with an extrovert. Yep. It's the only way you're going to have fun. Like the only way you're going to do more than what you would normally do. So like that's just how it works. And that's how we work as a group too. Like if we go out, I am more of an introvert and he's more of an extrovert. But I can be an extrovert only when I want to be.
I was gonna say, dude, I have a friend like that. Melor, shout out. I love Melor so much. I've already talked about him on this, but he's kind of an introvert himself too. He can be a fucking loud asshole and like the most obnoxious fucking person in the room if he wants to be. But typically he presents himself as like a pretty quiet, like, you know, soft-spoken kind of guy, unless you really know him. And I'm the same way too. Unless you really know me, I'm not going to be yelling all sorts of outrageous fucking shit about you and telling you to do Jim Beam shots. When he and I get together as two introverts, though, primarily, we can really get the worst out of each other. And I fucking love it. And I love you, buddy. That's all I have to say about that. Noah, good week, man. Great job. I appreciate you coming on to do the show with us.
Nice thing.
Yeah, it's been weird coming on here every day, honestly, for the past week.
Yeah, honestly, I got sick of you by Tuesday, but we still had to do Wednesday through Friday. So
I got sick too, but you kept having me on.
I know, man. I mean, we make these time commitments where we're going to meet once a day, every day for 5 days straight, and we have to adhere to the production schedule. You know why?
No. Why?
The show must go on. I just dropped that key real bad. No, it should have been at least 2 full steps up, but I'm not going to think about that right now.
Yeah.
We're going to ask you to please like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on the audio podcast, Spotify, what's the other one? Apple Podcasts. Those are pretty much the only 2 ones left, by the way. Stitcher's gone. Google Podcasts is gone.
Shit.
Yeah, it's weird, man. The podcast audio landscape has been really weird the last couple years.
Fuck.
But if you're on either of those, please leave us a 5-star rating. Spotify, you don't have to write anything. Apple Podcasts, you do. Working on the next YouTube subscriber goal. So whatever. I've done all the call to actions. We'll see you next Monday for more advice.
Don't be a butt cheek.
Thank you for listening, everybody. Bye.